Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Dynasty Drip today. We are going to be going over 5 moves to make if you are rebuilding in your Dynasty League. If the season hasn't gone your way, you're 1-3, you're 0-4, you lost Joe Burrow, you trusted the Bengals, anything bad that's happened to you, or you just kind of have the build that it's looking more like a rebuild kind of time. Here's 5 moves that I'm trying to make if that is me or describes you. Thank you guys for coming to the channel, and let's get into today's topic. First move I'm trying to make if I am rebuilding in a Dynasty League. If I do have Trey Benson, I'm trying to get any first round pick I can for Trey Benson. On this one, I'm saying a 2027 late. I would take a 28, but I would definitely start in 27, then go to 26, then go to 28. I know that sounds a little confusing. But in general, look, it's nothing against Trey Benson, and I do think he's going to have some good weeks this year. But I watched him, and I've watched enough little Trey Benson things, and I think he's a good player. I just don't really know if he is that elite asset. So if you are rebuilding, I'm not going to hold on and wait. If you can capitalize on the role he's going to have right now and get a first-round pick, or the assumed role he's going to have and get a first-round pick, I'm going to take it. I'm not fully convinced he's going to be some mega bell cow the same way James Conner was. I mean, DeMarcado got in even their first game. He was able to score a touchdown. Benson's going to get his, but I don't know if he's going to have the backfield to himself this year. Next year, I don't know if Conner comes back or they add someone else. I just don't know if this is going to be a long-term thing for Trey Benson. So if you can get out now and get a first-round pick, that's the move I'm looking to make. Next one I want to talk about, T. Higgins, I think, is a great rebuilder kind of buy target. He's going to have a pretty low floor this year, obviously with no Joe Burrow. But in general, I think T. Higgins is a fine asset to have on your team as a wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 type for the future. And so for me, if I can acquire him now, I don't think he's really going to kill me, whether it's in wins, max points for, however you guys determine your draft order in your league. And I think this would be a good type if you're trying to sell some sort of contending RB. I'm using Derrick Henry as an example, but maybe I could package like Alvin Kamara in something to get T. Higgins, or I don't really know. But I think in general, he's a good target just because he's going to score more next year than he will this year, just with the return of Joe Burrow. And he's still only 26 years old. So he has plenty of that, 3 to 4 year window left in his career. And he just hasn't been good enough that I could totally see a contending team wanting to get off T. Higgins to acquire someone that's going to be better for their season right now, where T. Higgins might be a good piece for you to kind of help rebuild around come the future. Next one, I think Colston Loveland's a guy I'd be sending offers to if I'm a rebuilder. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to pry him necessarily from whoever picked him up in the rookie draft, because they probably spent a first-round pick on him. And I'm not saying they're going to be selling low, but he just hasn't done anything. So I'm at least going to be sending offers of contending pieces to help these teams if he's on a contender. My example for this is Jordan Mason. I think in general, though, just contending like RB2s would be good, wide receiver 2s and maybe a pick. Can I trade like a Deebo Samuel and a third? Jordan Mason, David Montgomery, anything like that where you can kind of turn your team, shed some points for the year. I do think in the future, I still believe in Colston Loveland. I think it might just take a bit. Cole Kmet's definitely playing in front of him. And they just have a lot of weapons there. Maybe in a couple years, though, they have to pay Caleb or they move away from DJ Moore, or we don't really know exactly. But hopefully there's a couple less pieces in Chicago, and Colston Loveland will have his time. I just don't know if he's really going to be a contender piece this year. So it's possible that player is looking to move off him to get someone else at the tight end position. Or maybe you have more of a contender tight end that you can use to go get Colston Loveland, Dallas Goedert, Hunter Henry, guys like that. Maybe move them with some picks to go tier up and get Colston Loveland on your team. Now, this one, look, it's going to seem obvious. I think a lot of people probably just aren't going to make this trade. But if I'm rebuilding, I want to reach out to the Malik Neighbors owner to see if there's anything we can do that's going to be a win-win trade for both of us. And that's the phrasing I like to use in my Dynasty leagues when I message people is, I just like to reiterate the fact when I'm doing trade conversations with people that I'm trying to find a win-win deal for the both of us, something we both want, I don't want anyone to feel like they're getting screwed over. I don't want to feel like I'm getting screwed over. I want to have a win-win trade. And if the Malik Neighbors owner is a contender, it's possible there may be a win-win trade for them. My example today is if I have Christian McCaffrey, maybe Garrett Wilson, can I package them together to go get Malik Neighbors? Now, if you have Christian McCaffrey, you are most likely a contender yourself, but obviously there's tons of scenarios in dynasty leagues that could play out. You could have had Christian McCaffrey, but you lost other people recently. Maybe you had some of the Bengals, you had Chase Brown, you had Joe Burrow, you had a tight end that's not performing very well, AJ Brown, stuff like that. And so if I'm looking to get Malik Neighbors and I am rebuilding, I think it's going to take some really high upside sort of contending piece. Christian McCaffrey's my example. I think Derrick Henry could be another example. And then you're going to need to put something on top of that still. So Garrett Wilson is my guy I'm throwing there. I think it's going to need to be like a wide receiver 12 to 24 type because it is dynasty. The Malik Neighbors guy isn't just going to sell him for free just because he's hurt. Yes, he's out for this year, but he's going to be back, and we all know Malik Neighbors is going to be a stud. But it's possible there's a tiny chance you can go get Malik Neighbors, and I think that's worth the upside of going for it. Reach out to the guy, see what he would take if he's a contender. No promises, but you need to do the due diligence on this one and see if Malik Neighbors is available in your dynasty league. And the last guy I want to talk about today is going to be a quarterback, and that's going to be Cam Ward. I am a Titans fan. It's mostly sucks in a real life sense. I don't know what about their team this year that's going to make them turn it around quickly. But I think in general, I think Cam Ward is a good player. And I'm going to bet on Cam Ward's talent moving forward. First overall pick, I do think he's going to progress. And this is probably going to be the floor of his career. And I think it should only get better as we move on years later in his career. Right now, my idea would be, can I trade Jared Goff? This is just kind of a rebuild contender kind of move. You know, if the guy that has Cam Ward is a contending team, but he's looking for more weekly upside, Jared Goff could be the perfect guy for him. Where if you rebuild, I think you're going to shed some points, but still get a high upside guy further on into his career in Cam Ward. 23 years old, obviously, Goff 31. I think there's some other guys that I would maybe be interested in this, you know, like a Dak Prescott, Jared Goff. I think I'd probably rather have Baker than Cam Ward. But even then, you could maybe tear down from some guys to get a little younger. Like maybe you could get Cam Ward and something for a Baker Mayfield. Cam Ward and something for a Kyler Murray, maybe something like that. But in general, you know, the idea of rebuilding trades for, you know, a lot of you guys that watch these videos are probably, you may have been playing Dynasty a long time. But if you haven't, the idea is who can I pick up that's going to shed points, increase my draft stock, but I can still have these pieces to work with moving into next year. I think Cam Ward is one of those guys. In general, injured guys tend to be like that too. Malik Neighbors. CeeDee Lamb not out for this season, so I think that's going to be a tough one. But I think T. Higgins as well. I spoke about, you know, if there's any way to go get Jamar Chase, same kind of thing as Malik Neighbors. If the guy's worried about what Jamar Chase is going to score this year, maybe you can trade an Amon-Ra or something and get Jamar Chase onto your team. Thank you guys for coming to Dynasty Drip today. If you haven't been to the channel before, I'm Sam. I appreciate it. Let me know who you are interested in buying on your rebuilding teams down in the comments. If you have any trade questions, make sure to hit me up as well. Please, please, please like the video. It helps me get this video out to everyone. And make sure to subscribe if you are not. But I appreciate you guys and good luck this week.